Before we begin, take a moment to breathe. If you find value in stories that blend human emotion with timeless wisdom, consider subscribing to the channel. Your presence here supports mindful content in a noisy world. Now, let us enter the story. Willowbrook Retirement Community was nestled quietly among rolling hills, its gardens bursting with the gentle colors of spring blooms. For many residents, it was a peaceful haven to rest in the later chapters of life. But for Marjorie, 76, the stillness brought both comfort and unrest. 2 years after the passing of her husband, the quiet in her apartment felt overwhelming, as if the walls themselves echoed the absence left behind. Each morning, she sat by the window with a cup of tea, watching the soft light touch the silver strands of her hair. Her heart ached for warmth, not just of sun, but of human touch and laughter. Despite the presence of friends and neighbors, loneliness clung tightly. The yearning for connection was a silent companion, whispering reminders of what once was. The arrival of Frank at Willowbrook shifted the quiet air. At 78, he carried himself with a quiet dignity and a trace of mystery. Tall and lean, with sharp eyes that had witnessed many battles in both the boardroom and the heart, he bore the weight of a recent divorce. Careful, yet hopeful. The new chapter beckoned, though he was wary of repeating past mistakes. Their paths crossed unexpectedly during a gentle yoga class designed to stretch both body and spirit. Marjorie struggled with a balance pose, her hands trembling slightly. Frank noticed and stepped beside her, offering a steadying touch that was both firm and kind. That brief connection sparked something neither had anticipated, an awakening in the stillness. In the weeks that followed, the two found themselves drawn to each other. They shared cups of herbal tea in the garden, took slow walks beneath azalea bushes in bloom, and exchanged quiet conversations about books, music, and memories from youth. Frank admired Marjorie's resilience and grace. She saw in him a reminder of vitality, a chance to reclaim parts of herself that felt lost. Yet not all eyes welcomed this unfolding intimacy. Betty, Marjorie's lifelong friend, nursed a hidden bitterness. Decades ago, Frank had been part of her story, a symbol of youthful dreams and passions now faded into the past. Watching him and Marjorie grow close stirred jealousy and pain, threatening to crack the foundation of old friendships. Within Willowbrook's walls, desire, loyalty, and rivalry intertwined a dance of human emotions, as complex and enduring as Samsara itself, the endless cycle of craving and suffering taught in Buddhist wisdom. They say time softens the sharpest edges of pain, but for Marjorie, the ache of loss remained vivid. Each day was a delicate balance between remembering and letting go. The garden outside her window seemed to mirror her own cycles, budding hope, fleeting blooms, inevitable decay. Frank's presence was a breath of fresh air in this gentle yet suffocating routine. He was patient, never rushing, understanding the fragility in her smile and the caution in her eyes. Their conversations drifted easily from light-hearted stories of childhood mischief to deeper confessions of regret and longing. One afternoon, as the sun warmed the stone pathways, Frank shared fragments of his past. He spoke of 2 marriages that ended not with hatred, but with quiet unraveling failures born from unmet expectations and the human tendency to cling too tightly to an ideal. His voice bore the weight of those losses, but also a yearning to do better, to love without possession or fear. Marjorie listened, her heart stirring with empathy and a bittersweet recognition. They were both travelers on a path marked by joy and suffering, each step colored by lessons learned and wounds yet to heal. Betty's jealousy, however, was not easily soothed. She confronted Marjorie one evening in the common room, her voice trembling with hurt and accusation. The confrontation cut deep, peeling back years of unspoken grievances and unhealed wounds. "You never told me you'd find someone like Frank," Betty said, eyes shining with unshed tears. "I thought we were in this together." Marjorie took a deep breath, searching for words that would bridge the chasm between them. "Betty, this isn't about taking away what we had. It's about finding new light in the darkness. We all deserve that." The tension lingered unresolved, but soft by the honesty shared. It was a reminder that relationships, like life itself, were complicated tapestries woven from threads of love, jealousy, forgiveness, and hope. Amidst this emotional turbulence, Marjorie turned inward, seeking solace in the meditation sessions offered by Sister Ananda, a soft-spoken woman who guided the community in mindfulness practices. There, surrounded by gentle silence, Marjorie began to observe the restless waves of desire, fear, and attachment that churned within her. The teachings of impermanence echoed in her mind, the understanding that clinging to people, moments, or identities only deepened suffering. She learned to breathe into discomfort, to hold her emotions with kindness rather than resistance. Frank, too, found strength in these practices. After a minor health scare that landed him briefly in the hospital, he confronted the fragility of life with newfound clarity. Writing in his journal, he explored fears and hopes, vowing to love without the chains of past hurts. Together, they embraced mindfulness as a balm for the soul, a tool to navigate the complexities of late-life love and loss. With time, the circle around Marjorie and Frank began to shift. The old patterns of rivalry and suspicion softened into curiosity and tentative acceptance. Residents who had once whispered behind hands now observed with gentle smiles, some even seeking their own openings to connection. Marjorie found herself opening in ways she hadn't anticipated. The vulnerability she shared with Frank became a bridge not only between them, but with others who struggled with loneliness, regret, or fear of new beginnings. In quiet conversations over tea, she spoke openly about the challenges of desire in later life, the societal taboos, the delicate balance between longing and restraint. Frank listened and shared his own stories, including the moments where craving had led him astray, and the hard-earned lessons of compassion and patience. Together, they embodied the Buddhist principle that suffering arises from attachment and craving, but that through awareness and acceptance, one can find freedom. In one of their group sessions, Sister Ananda introduced 6 techniques to heal emotional karma and later life practical tools, rooted in timeless wisdom but suited to their contemporary challenges. 1. Mindful awareness, observing emotions and desires without judgment, recognizing their transient nature. 2. Compassionate communication, speaking honestly but kindly with oneself and others, allowing for healing and understanding. 3. Forgiveness practice, letting go of resentments from past relationships, freeing the heart from burdens that hinder love. 4. Embracing impermanence, accepting change as natural, which reduces fear and clinging. 5. Cultivating gratitude, focusing on the present blessings rather than losses, which fosters joy and contentment. 6. Balanced attachment. Loving fully but without grasping, seeing others as they are rather than projections of desire. Marjorie and Frank applied these lessons gradually, feeling the subtle shifts within. Their romance was not a fairy tale, but a human story marked by growth, setbacks, and deeper connection. The tension with Betty remained a shadow, but even that began to transform as she joined some of the mindfulness sessions, learning to confront her own jealousy and pain. Marjorie often reflected on the Buddha's teaching, attachment is the root of suffering. Yet she also came to understand that love, when approached with wisdom and kindness, can be a path to liberation rather than bondage. The quiet halls of Willowbrook echoed with new energy, a testament to the power of compassion and the courage to love beyond age, fear, and past wounds. As the seasons turned, Marjorie and Frank's relationship deepened, not just in affection, but in understanding. They learned that love in later life carried unique challenges, bodies frailer, memories shadowed by loss, and the ever-present awareness of impermanence. Yet they found joy in small moments, a shared smile, the touch of hands during a chilly evening, laughter over a recalled joke. One afternoon, as golden light spilled through the windows of the community room, Marjorie sat quietly, reflecting on the journey she had traveled. The pain of widowhood, the sting of jealousy from Betty, the awakening of desire, all had been threads woven into a tapestry of awakening. She recalled a teaching from the Dharma: suffering arises not from life itself, but from our resistance to its flow. Craving for permanence in an impermanent world only tightens the grip of suffering. To live fully, she realized, meant embracing change with open arms, releasing control, and finding peace in the present. Frank, too, had come to see his own path more clearly. His past mistakes no longer weighed him down, but served as lessons etched deep within. He sought not to possess Marjorie, but to walk beside her with kindness, patience, and presence. Together they continued attending meditation, sharing insights with their neighbors, and fostering a community where openness and vulnerability were met with compassion. Their story was a microcosm of Samsara, the endless cycles of desire, attachment, and suffering. But through mindfulness and loving kindness, they discovered a way to live with grace, even in the face of aging and loss. If this story touched something within you, share it with someone who may need it too. Subscribe for more narratives where ancient wisdom meets the struggles of modern life. And remember, sometimes the greatest clarity comes after we lose everything we thought mattered.